The gaming journalists are up to their old tricks. They are running damage control for BioWare's latest disastrous game, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, by claiming it's the target of a, quote, hate campaign. Ironically enough, the games journalist seems to be very hateful himself and fails to acknowledge that the game is a hate campaign in and of itself. Roll this up over at fandompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. I encourage you to head on over there, become a paid subscriber. We are fully reader funded. We need your support to help us fight back against this woke ideology that is trying to infect the video game industry, trying to destroy the video game industry, burn it to the ground, in the words of Sweet Baby Inc. We are not going to let that happen. We're going to shine a light on this, and we are going to put a stop to this. So Hayes Madsen is the author of this Inverse article that runs damage control for BioWare's Dragon Age: The Veilguard. I think the title is, let's just hop over here. I don't even remember. It's called Corrine Bush is the ruler of RPGs, conqueror of haters. That is a man pretending to be a woman, the game director of Dragon Age: The Veilguard. And in the article, Madsen claimed the game is the target of, quote, a hate campaign that's put Veilguard at the center of a kind of culture war on social media, along with plenty of hateful comments toward developers and review bombing on sites like Metacritic. Doesn't mention any of the hateful comments, doesn't mention any of that. It doesn't provide any evidence of that, right? They never do. They never provide evidence of the things that they claim are happening. We do, though. We do. We will show evidence of what Hayes Madsen has written about white people. Not only did he claim Dragon Age: The Veilguard was the victim of this hate campaign, but he claimed it was also targeting other games. For most of this year, Assassin's Creed Shadows has been the constant target of a hate campaign, with Ubisoft's art director recently condemning the backlash and harassment the studio and team has faced. The creator of the indie game Tales of Kenzera Zhao, Abubakar Salim, has also been vocal about the fever pitch of racism the game and its team have received. He never makes mention that these games are actually part of a hate campaign themselves. They are pushing evil ideology, whether that be a DEI agenda, whether that be gender ideology. In the case of Dragon Age: The Veilguard, it is clearly pushing gender ideology, which has been described by Pope Francis as the worst danger of our time. Literally has characters punishing themselves, doing push-ups for misgendering another character. Clearly trying to normalize this ideology that thinks that men can become women and women can become men, which is impossible. That cannot happen. It is a lie. And so they're trying to push this lie. They're trying to normalize this. They're trying to get this ideology into the brains of weak individuals who will hopefully adopt it and then lead them down a path of destruction. That is hate. Wanting people to be led down a path of destruction is hate. That is the opposite of love, which is to will the good of another, as St. Thomas Aquinas defined it. Wanting someone to physically mutilate themselves by going down the path of gender ideology is not wanting the good for someone. That is not good. That is evil, and it is hateful. And that's what this game was trying to normalize. It was trying to normalize this hateful ideology. And gamers recognized this and rejected it. You can see this here, 89,418 all-time peak concurrent on its first Sunday, November 3rd, after it launched on October 31st. You can see the most 24-hour peak was just 9,437. That is a decline of 89.4% within what? 2 months? Not even? Month and a half? Total failure for this game. And I think it's actually on sale now for like 35%. And we're still not seeing that player count increase at all. Constantly going down, 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 down. Not good. And then, literally the definition of an SJW, lie, double down, and project. Hayes Madsen lies that a hate campaign is happening. He doubles down on it, saying that there's other hate campaigns happening. And he's clearly projecting. Because guess what? He's the guy who is engaging in hate. just like the games were, like Dragon Age: The Veilguard, like Assassin's Creed Shadows. Because this is what he posted in May 2020 in response to one individual decrying the Black Lives Matter riots. And that's what they were. They were riots. They were burning down cities. They were killing people. They were destroying property. They were ruining people's lives. He defends them, saying, I can't stand white people. That's Hayes Madsen. That's the guy who wrote this article defending Dragon Age: The Veilguard. He defended violent criminals who were burning down cities and killing people. And he's blaming white people for taking issue with that. It's disgusting. In June 2020, he reacted to PlayStation postponing a PlayStation 5 event, saying, cue all the mad white people. Like, come on, this isn't important right now, and I'm saying that as someone whose entire career is steeped in video games. Obviously, this was delayed because of the Black Lives Matter stuff, and he's blaming white people for not caring about a criminal drug addict who overdosed, and then people blowing it out of proportion, rioting, and burning down cities. Now, obviously, I think they probably did care about the rioting and burning down cities, but getting mad that a video game presentation was delayed because a drug addict criminal died while being subdued by police, while police were literally protecting the public from this guy who was, I guess, robbing a grocery store with like counterfeit money. He's upset at the white people who weren't interested in that. In April 2019, he wrote this: as much as I love Devil May Cry, I certainly don't need another game with a snarky white guy. Trisha and a lady are great character that deserve far more than they've been given. He wrote this in 2021, January 2021, deriding streamer Ninja, who said it wasn't his job to teach kids about racism and white privilege. It's not. But Hayes said, it's not my job to recognize my white privilege on my massive platform. It's just about the most white privileged thing I've ever heard. So he's trying to mock Ninja there. He also belittled his own family for not supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. And it's just despicable. He wrote this, June 2020. It's disheartening that not seeing any of your white family members speak out about racial injustice. They talk about rioting and property damage, but won't talk about systemic racism and police violence. Not one word. It's up to us to hold our family to account. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. In May of this year, he said this: forced diversity is such a straw man argument. Goalposts shift and people find every excuse to say we're doing diversity wrong. More diverse experiences, characters, and stories only enrich this industry and all of us. Games should reflect the real world and who plays them. They always say this, but then when you actually crunch the numbers, it's literally the opposite of what the real world is. The idea that anything is being taken away is still so absurd to me. Because you don't live in reality? The majority of video games out there still feature predominantly white heroes, predominantly straight characters. Those experiences aren't being erased, and those demographics have been served for decades. He's right, and that's why people aren't playing the new games, because they're not interested in the LGBTQ plus agenda that is indeed replacing straight white males. So they're going back and playing their back catalogs, and they're not playing Concord. They're not playing Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. They're not playing Dustborn. They're not playing Unknown 9, Awakening. They're not playing Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. They're not playing Dragon Age: The Veilguard. They're not going to play Avowed. They're not going to play Assassin's Creed Shadows, which features LGBTQ plus romance with Yasuke, the fake black samurai. So you can't make this stuff up. Accusing Dragon Age: The Veilguard of being a victim of a hate campaign while literally spreading hate over the past 4 years. SJWs always lie, they double down, and they project The laws are undefeated. See this time and time again. Hayes Madsen, just another woke SJW games journalist trying to defend a hateful trash game like Dragon Age, the Veilguard. And it's just not going to work. Gamers have seen this strategy over and over and over again, and these tactics just no longer work anymore. You can call us all the names you want. You can say we're engaging in all the hate that we want. But the truth of the matter is it doesn't matter anymore. Because most people now recognize that games like Dragon Age the Veilguard are the ones pushing the hateful agenda. That Assassin's Creed Shadows is pushing the hateful agenda. That Concord is pushing the hateful agenda, and they're trying to indoctrinate people into these evil ideologies, and we just had enough of it. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.